Welcome to the next part of Let's Play Phoenix Wright. Then now, I shall call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like daughter, I suppose. Hey, Gumshoe! Witness, your name and occupation? Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone will please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? Look at disbelief on the judge's faces. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from the inside of the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. And that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? Correct. I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided, ever. 4 plans added to the court record. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time then. Witness testimony, cause of death. A direct cause of death was a pistol shot in the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used a pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Autopsy report added to the record. Court accept the evidence. You may cross-examine now, Mr. Wright. Okay, let me just say, I'm doing this court part right here almost blind. Be truthful, so if I screw up, I'm sorry. But this is mostly blind. I don't want to say hold it. I just want to press the button. It was the victim's victim. Now why would he have objection? Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point is that you're missing whose fingerprints are on the pistol. If you're not already paying attention, I suggest you start. Fingerprints? Along with the victims, the defendant might fail assault on the grip, sir. Defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. I walked right into her hands there. Shot was fired from point-blank range. Point-blank, huh? How far away was it? It was between 12 and 20 inches away. And how do you know he was shot at point-blank? Tisk, 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grew tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of the foolish country. This foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. When something is shot from point blank, a burn hole is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot now. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. Stabbed? What was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. Let's see, whose knife was it? Looks like it belongs to the face, so. And of course, my face fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? This does not look good. Ha ha ha, what will you do now, Mr. Wright? Phoenix Wright? The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. How severe was the wound? Had it been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. His testimony smiled like she stabbed him with the intent to kill. Murder was used the pistol to finish the victim after stabbing. Are you sure he was stabbed first then shot? Yep, sure can be. One look at the wounds came. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. Pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more. Open the big mouth here, Mr. Phoenix, right? What a pain. And you have to object, hold it, my bad, epic finger point and, hold it and stuff on every single one, and that's how you proceed this part. It took me a while to figure that out. It clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today. Very well, card accepts from the evidence. Pistol added to the court record. Please don't eat anything. She probably is. Knife added to the court record. The data and time of death, June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. Hey, drop it, whichever in your mouth. And 2 murder weapons, both have defendant's fingerprints on them. This does seem like an open and shut case. Naturally, it's going from bad to worse. As the summary now just wasn't oversimplifying things too extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam a little gavel of yours. After all, there's no room left for doubt, is there? It's quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes, even in the face of all this, you still wish to plead not guilty. It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust the plea, you will stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix, Wright, you would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? You changed to justified self-defense because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. What should I do? We're gonna go for not guilty. Justified self-defense or not guilty. Not guilty, because that's just what we do. We plead justified self-defense, which is basically confessing to a murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be destroyed and be told as a murderer, called a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor, have you ever reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept epic finger point, nothing short of a complete acquittal. Stop it. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective! Yes, sir? Present the final portion of your testimony. The final strike. Yes, sir. Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Eek! Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony. I think the court would like to hear other incriminating evidence. Sorry, Bob, there's even more incriminating piece of evidence. It's his costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. And there's something else about it that looks funny. The defendant attacked him for the person who, without a doubt, was now fighting back. So this is the costume. Certainly is evidence of the backspray blood on this. Final piece links Maya's fate to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts it as evidence. Maya's costume added to the court record. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints are on both the murder weapons and blood splattered on her clothes. Could the situation get worse? Huh, what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think it's time the last piece of testimony the prosecution has to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Incriminating evidence. Cross-examination. sorry, pal, but there's even more incriminating piece of evidence. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kind of scary today, you know, pal. Come on now, Mr. Wright, there's no need for something. Alright, just please stop blaming me like that. I'm sorry, I forgot. The costume the fellow's wearing is seen at the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The blood on the costume. It's the victim's blood. Lab results say it is. Smelled. So there's blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. Be out of the clues that would glean from this piece of evidence. If we must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Time to move on. Oh yes, most one crime is perfectly correct. If the judge's honor's eye, I'd bite off more than you can chew. What should I do? Press further. We just like to do that. Why is this one crime suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be a clue somewhere on this costume. Just have to look harder. You're right, this one crime is logic. There's no way you can poke a hole in it. Looks like a costume. There's one little thing wrong with it. Poke a hole. A hole. There's something very wrong with this evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? What is there a problem you're talking about? Come this far, there's no turning back now. Okay, so he bluffed. Problem of seeing this piece of evidence is here. Now it goes on to the bottom screen, and we have to get as close to that little bullet hole as possible, then press present. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here. A hole that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder? It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make this is that it must be a bullet hole. Smack. Order. It is a very grave matter. The best we correct the court record first thing anything. Knife costume updated in the court record. Sorry about that, we messed up, so. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke. Nothing more. Objection! How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. While I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police, what is she chewing? What is the puppy chewing? Part of the police. Well, prosecutor Von Karma, I do not find more definitive problem with the evidence then. What? No way! Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. That Tevin attacked was no doubt fighting back. What? If he was no doubt fighting back, then why is there a freaking bullet hole on Maya's costume? Detective Gumshoe. Yes, having called my full name is kind of weird feeling. The McClay person who was no doubt fighting back. Yeah, I did. Mask the bullet hole the police overlooked supposed to mean. What does it mean? We'll find out what it means in the next part, because we're about out of time. So next time in Phoenix Wright, we'll find out what the bullet hole in my sleeve means. But until then, I will see you later.